Hi there, this is Nova. Welcome to our tip of the month for March 2015. I want to visit with you today about cleaning your Singer Featherweight. I always begin when I'm going to maintain my machine with my Featherweight maintenance card. It was designed to help you maintain your machine and keep it running well. I've had several questions this month, and as you know, I usually write about things or talk to you about things in the tip of the month that I've had questions about. So that's how I decided to visit with you today about maintaining your machine, cleaning your machine. And I wanted to start off with the maintenance card. The maintenance card was developed because of my students' request. They kept asking me for a visual reminder of what we covered in my Featherweight maintenance workshop. The maintenance card is 2 pages. It's a front and back with full color photographs detailing every point that you need to take care of on your Singer Featherweight. Up at the very top, it says for you to disconnect your power cords and then clean with kerosene, 1 drop per point. Cleaning is something that's a little bit unique to me in the Featherweight world. I really stress cleaning. The majority of the problems that come through my Singer Featherweight repair shop are because of unclean machines. Machines that are filthy. That's not a criticism of the owner, that's just 50 years of dust and lint and atmospheric goo plus machine oil that have collected in these machines. So I recommend that you clean with kerosene. Kerosene comes in a gallon container. That's an awful lot. You could clean machines for many, many years with a gallon container. Unfortunately, sometimes that's the smallest quantity that you can find it in. You can even find it in hardware stores in a gallon container. If you diligently look, you may be able to find it in a quart container in the camping section of sporting goods stores or even big box stores. Kerosene is always labeled with a blue container or a blue label. Kerosene is always labeled with blue. Kerosene is a solvent. The reason I recommend kerosene instead of other solvents is because it is safe for the finish on the Singer Featherweight. That means that if you spill it, I don't want you to let it just sit there, but you don't have to worry about it eating through the finish. Just take a paper towel and wipe it clean and you'll be fine. Kerosene is what you need to use. I do not recommend using anything else. Please don't be bullied by store clerks. I've had numerous emails this past month of ladies in particular going in to purchase kerosene and the store clerk bullying them and treating them like they don't know what they're talking about and trying to sell them something else. WD-40, liquid wrench, some other, even paint thinner. I've even had one email from a lady who was told that diesel was the same thing as kerosene. All of that is false. All of those things are not good for you to use on your Singer Featherweight. Insist on kerosene. If the store clerk is unwilling to help you, go somewhere else. You can find kerosene. It's readily available, especially in the winter. It's a heater fuel, so you shouldn't have too much trouble finding it. But please don't be bullied by a store clerk who's treating you like you don't know what you're doing. I experienced an awful lot of people treating me like I didn't know what I was talking about when I was developing Nova's motor lubricant. People kept telling me that motors weren't made that way. Modern motors are not. And when I finally found a chemist who would listen to me, that's when I began to make progress. This is not a new idea that's original to me as far as cleaning the machine with kerosene. This is an original owner's manual for the Singer Featherweight 221. And if you'll notice here, it talks about the machine working heavily. And it says if the machine runs hard after standing idle for some time, use a little kerosene in the oiling places and then run the machine rapidly. Now this was advice given when the machine was new. These machines have been sewing, some of them for almost 80 years, or actually over 80 years. 60, 70, 80 years, these machines have had oil put in them. They've been sitting idle, sometimes for decades in closets. So the reason that I recommend that you put a drop in each point and then rotate the hand wheel towards you is when you're rotating the hand wheel on the Singer Featherweight, you're going to be saving the stress on the machine by cleaning all that goo out by hand. Plus, you're going to get the feel of what the machine feels like. You're going to know where it's feeling like it's tight, when it's feeling like you've loosened some of that stuff up, and you'll know your machine much better. So that's why I recommend that you turn the hand wheel instead of just putting it on in all the oiling places and running it. Additionally, it's very difficult to get it in all these oiling places at one time and then run it all at once. So that's why I recommend 1 point at a time. Now, I've had several inquiries this month as well, how do I get a drop of kerosene in each of these places? I sell syringes on my website. When you order a syringe, it'll come to you packed like this. These are Lure Lock syringes. I sell both a large and a small. The small one is typically used for oil. You put the oil in, and I typically color, these are what my students use in my workshop, and I color the end of the syringe that is going to have the oil in it black. Black gold, Texas tea for oil. The reason I carry two different sizes is you're going to need much more kerosene to clean with than you are going to need sewing machine oil. So that's why I carry two different sizes. When you get your syringe that you order from me in the mail, you can simply attach the tip to it and you're ready to go. Now, the easiest way for you to fill this syringe with kerosene is to fill a small cup with kerosene or with sewing machine oil, depending upon which syringe you're filling, and then draw the syringe back full. So you're going to put the syringe in there, and then you're going to draw it up like this. You're going to put that down in the bowl and then draw it up to fill the syringe. That way you will be able to put 1 drop of oil, 1 drop of kerosene in each of the places as recommended on my maintenance card. Therefore, if we were beginning this, the maintenance card shows you, it says top left 4 places. So we would begin by putting 1 drop of kerosene in each of these places and rotating the hand wheel toward us. Why syringes? Why do I like to use syringes? You can control where you're applying the oil and the kerosene, and you can control how much you put in each of the points. If you're using any other application method, you're going to have a really hard time. Even if you're using a bottle of oil, it's almost impossible to get a drop in each of these places. If you're using even a zoom spout oiler, which are great little pieces of little tools to use, great aids, but you just can't get just 1 drop in there. And you sure can't control exactly where it goes, especially when you're starting to look inside the faceplate and some more intricate places in the machine. That's why I recommend using the syringes. Additionally, these are lubrication syringes, not inoculation syringes. You'll notice they have a blunt tip. You sure don't want a shot with that. And that is good for working inside the spool spindle plate and scrubbing in there very gently, of course, but getting out some of the hardened stuff in the gears and other places. You can get in there and really do a lot of work with the tip on that syringe. Now, syringes are not a one-time forever purchase. They're not going to last forever. The kerosene and the oil deteriorate the rubber stopper. You can look at this one. This is one that's had kerosene in it that I've used in my workshops for quite a while, and compare it to a brand new one, and you can see how the kerosene is causing that stopper to expand. And so you're going to need to replace them. I get several workshops out of these, so you should get quite a bit of cleaning out of them, several times of maintaining your Singer Featherweight. If you're gentle when you're filling this and pulling it up, you should probably get 6 months to a year out of them, but they're not a one-time for all purchase. One thing that I recommend to extend the life of the syringe is when you're done with it, go ahead and empty it out. The kerosene syringe, when you're done with it, go ahead and empty all of the kerosene out of it and pull it back full of air. That will extend the life of that rubber stopper. I typically don't do that with my oil syringes. I just leave the oil in them. Again, you're going to use much less oil, and that's probably enough oil in there. If you've cleaned up your machine initially and you're regularly maintaining it, there's enough oil in that syringe to service your machine at least twice, probably 3 or 4 times. So I don't recommend that you empty all the oil out, but I do recommend that you do that with the kerosene to prolong and extend the life of the syringes. You can find the syringes in my online shop on my website, www.novamontgomery.com. In the shop area, you'll see it under Featherweight Tools and Accessory. This would be a tool that you would need for maintaining your Singer Featherweight. I hope that's helpful to you. I hope that clarifies some of the questions that I've had this month about syringes, about how do you get oil and kerosene in these points, and about kerosene, and about my maintenance card. I do hope it helps, and I hope that you have a great month. Please read on my website. I've got a retreat plan for February of 2016. Details will be coming up about that shortly. It's going to be in Rockport, Texas, so down on the Gulf Coast, a beautiful area, and I hope you'll join me for that. Happy stitching.